Welcome back to our channel and the next stop on our National Trust Grand Tour. Today we're in the Wiltshire countryside, just 30 miles outside Bath at Lacock Abbey, one of those places that quietly takes your breath away. It's a place where nearly 800 years of history, including a medieval nunnery, a Tudor family home and the birth of photography, all come together under one roof. Not to mention, it's a favourite filming location for the likes of Harry Potter, Pride and Prejudice and Downton Abbey, to name but a few. Stay with us to see the very spot where the world's earliest surviving photographic negative was created. This is Lacock Abbey, a place of quiet beauty, big ideas and stories that changed the world.
At first glance, Lacock Abbey feels like a grand country house. But look a little closer and you'll discover something much older. The abbey began life in 1232 as an Augustinian nunnery, founded by Ella, Countess of Salisbury, one of the most powerful women of the Middle Ages. Remarkably, it remains one of the most complete surviving medieval nunneries in Britain. After the dissolution of the monasteries in the mid-16th century, the estate was bought by Sir William Sharrington for £783. He set about transforming the former convent into a family home, building directly on top of the nunnery in places, which is why Lacock today feels like a captivating blend of medieval monastery and Tudor country house. Among Sharrington's most impressive additions is the grand octagonal tower on the southeast corner, inspired by French and Italian Renaissance design, and built using stone from the chapel he demolished on this very spot.
To enter Lacock Abbey, we passed beneath an impressive Gothic entrance arch, built in 1755 by John Ivory Talbot, as part of his mission to revive the spirit of the medieval nunnery. Around the same time, he also rebuilt much of the west entrance, including external stairs and large windows on either side of the doorway, which features stained glass salvaged from the original convent. Stepping inside, visitors arrive in the hall, a vast Gothic-style space lined with terracotta statues set into niches. The figures represent characters from history and myth, including the Abbey's founder, Countess Ella, positioned proudly above the fireplace, and even a philosopher who looks suspiciously like a wizard. All of these statues were crafted on site in the 1750s and fired in a huge kiln in the orchard, a process that took 8 months from start to finish. There's also a charming little detail to look out for, a sugar lump perched on the nose of a terracotta goat. It was placed there by a student in 1919, and wonderfully it's still there today. Did you spot it earlier in this section? Above it all, the stunning barrel-vaulted ceiling is painted with 45 heraldic shields, each representing an important family of the time. Overall, the hall is a quietly impressive space, setting the tone beautifully for the rest of the abbey.
William Sharrington partitioned the nuns' refectory to create the Brown Gallery and the series of adjoining rooms. Over time, it became a space for family portraits, including one of Matilda Talbot, who gifted Lacock Abbey to the National Trust in 1944. Just above her portrait, you can still spot one of the original medieval corbels, a small but powerful reminder of the building's monastic past. Along this corridor is the Pulpit Room, named for the pulpit that once stood here, where one of the nuns would read Bible passages aloud during mealtimes. Matilda Talbot later chose this modest little room as her bedroom. It might seem an unusual choice in such a grand house, until you realise it sits directly above the boiler, making it the warmest room in the abbey. It also enjoys lovely views over the stable courtyard, which must have added to its quiet charm.
The stone gallery is a true showstopper. Created as part of the 16th century conversions, this long, elegant walkway links different parts of the house while framing beautiful views across the grounds. Several noteworthy pieces are displayed here, including 6 shell-backed chairs in a rare Italian form known as scabello. Made in London in 1635, the Talbot heraldic lion was added later. Firefoot, the 170-year-old rocking horse, is internationally famous for appearing in one of the world's earliest photographs. And the enormous pestle and mortar dating from the 1540s offers a wonderfully tangible connection to the Abbey's Tudor past.
It's easy to spot the Georgian influences in the Blue Parlour, which William Henry Fox Talbot once used as his library. When his granddaughter Matilda removed the bookcases in 1916, she uncovered the elegant early 18th century panelling behind them and chose this soft blue colour to match an 1829 watercolour of the room. The Blue Parlour feels both refined and inviting, the sort of room where you can instantly imagine settling down with a book or enjoying quiet conversation with family and friends. The desk is a Carlton House desk, a style originally created for the Prince of Wales in the 1830s. This particular example is believed to have been gifted to Lacock by Queen Victoria herself, offered as a way of settling her father's gambling debts.
And now we come to the room where photographic history was made, the South Gallery. Another long, elegant space, it was designed to capture sunlight throughout the day. Fox Talbot transformed it into a comfortable family sitting room where evenings were filled with music, poetry and lively conversation. But the most important feature here is the large central oriel window. In August 1835, Fox Talbot captured this very window in what is now the world's earliest surviving photographic negative, a tiny postage stamp-sized image that records all 200 diamond-shaped panes with astonishing clarity. It's remarkable to think that in this quiet room, through Talbot's ingenuity, the foundations of modern photography were laid, shaping a global industry that continues to evolve today. The dining room was undergoing conservation work during our visit, but even this brief glimpse reveals a beautifully proportioned classical Georgian space. It's easy to imagine dinner parties in this elegant setting.
That concludes our tour of the house, so now it's time to step into the cloister surviving from the 13th century. Nowhere captures Lacock Abbey's monastic roots quite like these walkways. Beautifully preserved and wonderfully atmospheric, they once formed the spiritual heart of the nunnery. And if they look familiar, they've become a favourite filming location for TV and film, most famously standing in for Hogwarts in 2 of the Harry Potter films. Along the East Cloister Walk are several remarkably well-preserved rooms. The warming house was one of only 2 rooms in the entire abbey to have a fireplace, essential during the cold medieval winters. The enormous cauldron, made in 1500, provided the perfect backdrop for Professor Quirrell's defence against the dark arts classroom. The chapter house was where the nuns gathered each day to discuss abbey business and oversee the management of land they owned across Wiltshire and Hampshire. The tiled floor you see today was installed around 130 years ago, replacing the original mid-13th century tiles. It's easy to understand why these cloisters and adjoining rooms are so popular with filmmakers. Fans of costume drama may also recognise Lacock as a Tudor backdrop in the Hollywood film The Other Boleyn Girl and the acclaimed British series Wolf Hall. Standing here, surrounded by 8 centuries of history, it's almost impossible not to feel a deep connection to the generations who previously walked in these spaces.
The stable court was created in the 1540s by William Sharrington. Although they were working buildings, stables, a brewhouse and storage rooms, Sharrington still gave them refined architectural details, and there is a definite Tudor feel about them. Along the southern side is the former nuns' refectory, with an arched first-floor window and the roof dating back to the 1400s. This would once have been a place bustling with life, agricultural and garden equipment, along with stabling for 4 cart horses and a hackney carriage horse. Today it's a delightful space to grab a coffee and take a moment.
Lacock Abbey's grounds have evolved over many centuries, and the layout today reflects layers of medieval, Georgian and Victorian design. One of the earliest features is a medieval stew pond, once used by the nuns to keep live fish for the table. It is among the oldest surviving elements of the landscape. Moving forward in time, the early 18th century brought major changes under John Ivory Talbot. He had grand designs for the garden, including the stone rockworks built over the Bide Brook in 1749 and the Tuscan columns topped with an 18th century sphinx. Closer to the house is Lady Elizabeth's Rose Garden, created in the late 1820s by Fox Talbot's mother. The iron arches you see today are original, reinstated decades later in the 1990s. It's a compact, structured garden centred on a classical urn. Close by is the Botanic Garden, where Fox Talbot pursued his interests in plants and scientific observation. Within the old stable yard walls, he built greenhouses and a conservatory growing orchids, euphorbias and rare specimen trees. His studies of flowering times here fed directly into his early photographic experiments. Across the wider grounds you'll find open lawns, woodland and wonderful views towards the village church. A landscape shaped to be both practical and picturesque, and still very much at the heart of Lacock's character today.
Before we finish our tour of Lacock Abbey, here are a few tips to help you make the most of your visit. Don't miss the famous oriel window. Take a photograph and add your own piece of history to the spot which saw the birth of modern photography back in August 1835. Enjoy the Cloisters properly. They've starred in countless film and TV productions, so embrace the moment and soak up 800 years of history. Leave time for the Fox Talbot Museum and Lacock Village. Whilst not featured in this video, both are well worth exploring, so give yourself enough time to enjoy everything Lacock has to offer.
If, like us, you find it impossible to visit just one National Trust place, there are a couple of excellent options nearby that are well worth adding to your plans. Dereham Park, a magnificent Baroque house set in a sweeping deer park with incredible views over the Severn Valley. Prior Park Landscape Gardens. Just outside Bath, it's known for its stunning Palladian Bridge and outstanding views over the city.
So why should you visit Lacock Abbey? It's one of those rare places where medieval monastic life, Tudor design and later family history all meet in a single remarkable setting. From the atmospheric cloisters to the history-packed interiors, the historic gardens and the village beyond the gates, every part of Lacock tells a different chapter of the story. Whether you're here for the architecture, the photography story, or just the atmosphere, it's a place that rewards unhurried exploration and lingers in the memory long after you visit. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, we'd love you to like, comment and subscribe, and join us again for the next stop on our National Trust Grand Tour.